2011, a golden retriever saved my life. No, I didn't jump in a pool and have a dog drag me out, or have a snake attack me and the dog protected me. So let's talk about how this beautiful, happy little golden retriever saved my life. It was about 7 a.m. At the time, I lived in Chicago, Illinois. It was a Sunday morning. I had just gotten home from my 6th night in a row shutting down the bars of Chicago. Luckily for me, at that time in my life, the bars in Chicago stayed open till 5 a.m. So, stumbled home, walked into my empty studio apartment, had a bed, a couch, table, maybe 2 cups, 2 plates, a couple forks, a couple knives. I had lived there for a few years. It wasn't like it was somewhere new. I looked around and I realized how empty my apartment was. But the feeling I had nothing to do with the apartment's emptiness. It was my own. About 2 years prior, my father had passed away from battling cancer, and him and I had an embattled relationship. At the time, I blamed myself for not opening the lines of communication, and I blamed him for a lot of my anger and frustration and failures in life. So I was dealing with this and really didn't know how to process it. So again, standing in this apartment, decided to go for a walk. Didn't grab any extra keys or jackets. I just turned around, walked out. Now, if you've ever been to Chicago, Illinois in early March, it's not the most comfortable place to be. It's cold, bitter, windy, gray. Seasonal depression is a real thing there, if you allow it to be. So I'm walking in this cold, gray world from my apartment through the park out to Lakeshore Drive and onto the walking path around Lake Michigan. Now, walking onto the lake, there's a break wall, and there's actually waves in Lake Michigan. If you didn't know that, it's one of the only surfable lakes in the world. And this time of year, there's just blocks of ice just smashing off each other, 15, 16 inches thick, just bouncing off the wall, smashing off each other. It's a very dark, ominous looking lake. If I look back at it now, I would say it's beautiful. But then it was just black water, violent. So I continued down the walking path. Not sure where I'm going or what I'm doing. I just know I'm walking. Get to a point where I turn and look out into the lake, and something triggers me, and I decide that it'd probably be best if I just walked into that lake, with the hopes of not coming back out. So I turn, step onto that freezing cold sand, and start walking towards the lake. I hear a voice, "Hey, are you okay?" Look to my right, look to my left. I'm the only one there. I turn around, and there's a gentleman walking his young, I'd say 2-3-year-old golden retriever on the walking path, right early on a Sunday morning. It was him and I, and his dog. And me, being the wonderful liar that I thought I was, "Yeah, I'm great, how are you?" I couldn't hide that any better. And he's like, what are you doing? And, oh, just looking at the sunrise. He knew I wasn't looking at the sunrise. He knew something was going on. I knew something was going on. But I thought I was playing it off great. But all I remember is looking back and seeing this dog. Now, if you've seen a 2 or 3 year old golden retriever with a freshly groomed hair and well-shaped, young, happy, active dog, they almost have a smile on their faces. And this dog had just a radiant energy around him. And he just glowed. And I felt warmth. Now, I wasn't by the dog at this time. I was looking at the dog. I remember looking back and just feeling warmth from this animal. I walked back. I asked how the man was doing. I asked if I could pet his dog. We conversed, 2 to 3 minutes, and I pet his dog, and the dog was happy, and, the dog's tail was wiggling his whole body, just happy, spinning in circles. And I was like, this is great. I felt happy. Felt joyful, I felt warmth. Said goodbye to the gentleman and his dog, and when they went on their way, I went on my way. I turned and walked home. Forgot the feeling that I had about walking into that lake. I forgot the emptiness inside me for a brief moment at a time. Obviously, nothing was fixed. I forgot about it. A few months later, I moved back to Pennsylvania and lived in this victim-driven mentality that I had for the next few years. Now, there's plenty of stories in there, like the golden retriever, meeting my wife, my mother passing away, family. A lot of things happened over the next couple of years. I was searching. I didn't know what for. I didn't know what I needed. I had no idea what a victim mentality was. I was snowboarding with a friend one day, and I told him I've been doing research on some different mental health, mental awareness, positive mindset practitioners out there, and he had been doing the same thing. It was weird that my friend and I, who I've known for 30 years, were kind of at the same crossroads in our life. We're on a ski lift, and I had mentioned, Mark England and Lifted. I had heard on the Ben Bergeron podcast. And so I went back and listened to the podcast a second time, did some research on Lifted, had my call with Kim. And my friend Justin also did some research and jumped on a free workshop as well as I did. And I decided to dive in head first. And that's my personality. I'm going to educate myself, make a choice, and never look back. So I dove in head first into the Lifted practice, courses, classes, and community. And I learned that day at the lake, the dog didn't save my life. The dog helped me recognize something inside myself. A warmth, a positivity, an energy that I forgot was there. An energy that I've rediscovered, embraced, and now experience on a daily basis. An energy, a life force that I now share with my friends, loved ones, and all of you. Thank you.